Hi, welcome back to my page. Thank you guys so much for watching. Today I wanted to talk about the different kinds of weight loss surgery. There are four major kinds that we're going to talk about today. And I want to tell you which I chose and why I decided that that was right for me. Let's start with this. This picture shows how your stomach is naturally. So comes down, your esophagus comes down from your throat. The food comes down here, mixes with gastric juices and stomach acids here, gets dissolved, and then comes down into your intestines and bowels further down. So this is what a normal stomach looks like. The first type out of the four types of surgery I want to talk to you about today, the first one is the gastric banding. So what they do is they go in and they put this band contraption around the top of your stomach. What it does is it makes a small little pouch, and that is as much as you can eat in theory. Then the food goes down, mixes with the gastric juices and stuff, and gets digested and goes on its merry way. There's also an access port where you can adjust the band and make it larger or smaller depending on your needs, along with your doctor, of course. Some of the risks of this kind of surgery, I mean, first of all, you have something, a foreign object in your body forever, unless you have a surgeon take it out. I don't really like the idea of putting something foreign in there. So I don't think that this is the best surgery for me. Also, because with this surgery, you only lose about 40 to 50% of your excess weight. And I would like to lose a lot more than that. The cool thing is that there's no rerouting or cutting during this surgery. It's just putting in this band. I mean, you're not cutting your stomach. They're going into you, obviously, but they're not cutting off part of your stomach. The weight loss with this is a little bit slower and there are fewer complications. But the complications that you do have are things like the band slipping, maybe it erodes into your stomach a little bit. And with this surgery, it has the highest rate of people coming back and having either the surgery done again or choosing to do some other kind of surgery later. Okay, the next kind of weight loss surgery is the gastric sleeve. And this is what I have decided is going to be the best option for me after talking with my doctors and thinking about my life and my eating habits and all of that. So with the gastric sleeve, here again was your normal stomach. With the gastric sleeve, they just cut off a large portion, 75, maybe 80% of your stomach is actually removed. Now the thing is that you're left with this small sleeve of stomach, and that's where your food is held, broken down, and then digested and goes on its merry way. This part of the stomach, however, produces a lot of hormones, specifically the hormone called ghrelin that makes you feel hungry. And so since they're taking away this part of the stomach that creates that hormone, you have less of the hunger hormone being created in your body, which is something that I really think is going to help me a lot. It restricts your eating because you have a very small stomach portion left, so you feel full quickly. And you don't feel hungry because, like I said, your hunger hormone is greatly reduced. It helps control your blood sugar, and you lose weight quickly and significantly. So you're going to lose probably 60 to 70% of your excess body weight with the gastric sleeve versus 40 to 50% with the banding procedure. It is found to be as effective as the gastric bypass, but have a lot fewer complications. There are complications, but after your short hospital stay, you need to just watch out for long-term vitamin deficiency. You always have to take a multivitamin for the rest of your life and any other vitamins that your doctor or nutritionist prescribes. So with the gastric sleeve, There's a very short hospital stay, maybe 1 or 2 nights. It's non-reversible. Once that portion of your stomach is gone, they can't put it back. And there's no foreign objects in your stomach, which I really like. The next one I want to talk to you about. Ooh, I'm having a hard time getting this out today. The next one is the gastric bypass. It's also called the Roux-en-Y or Roux-en-Y, depending on your French pronunciation. So here's a picture of the gastric bypass. Basically what they do is they do cut your stomach there and give you a very small little pouch. So your food goes into the pouch and then down, bypasses the stomach and the gastric juices, but it comes down and joins back up with your intestines and then onwards to the bowels later. So this one, while is very effective, and it is proven to be effective because this one is like the one that they've used the most. In comparison, the gastric sleeve is kind of new, but this procedure, to me, it feels just a little bit too complicated. Cutting off part of the stomach and rerouting this part down here, rejoining it and cutting and pasting, and no, it's too much for me. There would be significant weight loss, but it's more due to malabsorption than actual, slowing down your eating. I mean, you will slow down your eating a bit because the pouch is so small, and it does get rid of that hunger hormone that we talked about, the ghrelin, but it doesn't give your food a lot of time to digest and for you to absorb the minerals and nutrients that you need. It's more complex, so there's more possibility for complications, and you do have a longer hospital stay with the Roux-en-Y or the gastric bypass. The last kind of gastric surgery that I wanted to talk to you about is very complicated. It's so complicated that I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to pronounce it or describe it correctly. So if I say something wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comments below. Okay, the fourth kind of surgery is called, are you ready for this? The biliopancreatic diversion with a duodenal switch gastric bypass. So here is the chart, the picture that I have that is supposed to show how this works. Step one, they cut off, step one is that they do a gastric sleeve. I mean, that's basically what it's showing here. They cut off this section of your stomach. Step two is that they kind of do a bypass. So you're having gastric sleeve surgery and gastric bypass surgery. And then here they are, this picture is very blurry, but they're rerouting your intestines down to your, I don't even know. They reroute your intestines. So you have a sleeve plus a bypass and the rerouting. This is the most complicated kind of surgery, and you lose weight because, again, of malabsorption. You can't absorb the food, the fat, the nutrients that your body is getting. It bypasses the small intestine. I'm glad I wrote notes. And goes straight into the large intestine. So you can eat normally, even though you have a small pouch, but you have the most weight loss. It's the most complicated, highest risk surgery, and it has the longest hospital stay. So it can also come with very serious complications. So for me, if the bypass is too complicated for me and makes me a little nervous, imagine, I would never get this one. I mean, they do it all. And it would be nice to be able to eat what I wanted, really. and still lose a ton of weight. But, you know, the risk of the complications and things are just too much for me. So I took kind of a Goldilocks approach to all of these different surgeries. I felt like the lap band was it was too little of a weight loss surgery for me. Whereas the bypass and this duodenal pancreatic diversion, blah, 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 I feel like that's just way too much. So I'm going more in the center with the gastric sleeve. I feel like I don't want foreign objects in my body and I want it to stick, but I also don't want it to be too complicated. So I feel like the sleeve is the perfect kind of in between for my body and my lifestyle. I know it won't be easy, and we will get to that. We will talk more about those other factors in the future. But after talking with my doctor, as I said, everyone who I have told in the doctor's office or at the hospital, when I say, oh, I'm here getting my EGD because I'm going to have the gastric sleeve surgery, and the technician immediately says, oh, that's a great surgery. And the same thing happened with my general practitioner and her nurse. I say, oh, I really think I want the gastric sleeve. Oh, that's a great surgery. So I feel really good about the choice that I've made, and my doctor has backed my choice, and the surgeon has said that I would be a great candidate for it. So stay tuned, and we will get to know more about the surgery and what I'm going to do and how things go as I go through it. Thanks. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe and go vote, for the love of God. Go vote. Please, 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 please.